Hi and welcome back to the channel. So today we're talking about the cost of living in paradise. How much does it really cost to live in Madagascar as a foreigner in the most expensive part of Madagascar as well, Nosy Be. This is a little paradise island, like I've explained in a couple of other videos I've done. Check them out, the old videos. It's paradise here. Beautiful every day. It's sunny at the moment. It's 27 degrees right now. It's around about 4.5 at night, so it's pretty nice night. Might go out in a bit, go and enjoy the evening before it goes dark. Might go for a few drinks. So here we are, we're at my house at the moment. This is my office here, like you can see. It's the terrace. This is where I usually sit, just here. I just sit here, chill out, get my paperwork out, get my pen out and get to work. Just need a phone to do emails, make some phone calls and just chill out on my nice big terrace. It's laughing. So happy to be here, enjoying life. So obviously this is the Madagascar money that we've got here. Hope I don't drop it off the edge. That would be a problem. So let's have a look at it. What we've got here is 2 million Ari. There's 4 million, 6, there's 1, 7, 9 million. 9 million Ari Madagascar currency. Each one of these notes here is worth around about £4 sterling. So that's £400 in that one bundle there. About possibly 500 US dollar. So here we've got about £2,500, somewhere around about that. This here could last me quite a while in Madagascar to live a nice life, doing what I need to do, going out and about, paying for my food, paying for my bills. So I thought I'd break it down and show you just exactly how much it costs to live in paradise. So here we go. At the moment I haven't got a car, but we'll talk about a car to start with. Cars are pretty expensive here. The sort of car that your brother or yourself might give away to your cousin or your brother or something. Some sort of car in the UK, like or in any European country or America, Canada, about £1,000 worth of car, $1,000 worth of car. They cost around about £4,000 to £5,000 or dollar for the same car here. There's people driving around in old Citroen C3s with 250,000 kilometers on the clock, and they're £4,000 worth of car. So if you want a decent car, you need to buy something like a Toyota Land Cruiser, something like that, say a 5-year-old one. You'll still be looking to pay around about £40,000, £35,000 for one of them. If you want a Nissan Patrol, same sort of money, maybe 5,000 less for the same sort of car. But obviously the roads are knackered, so you need a 4-wheel drive of some description. The best ones to go for probably is a pickup truck, like a Mitsubishi L200, a Nissan Navara, or if you got a little extra money, a Toyota Hilux. But you're paying for a 2019 Toyota Hilux with 60,000, 70,000, 80,000 kilometers on the clock. They're around about £12,000, about $14,000, something like that, US. So it's big dollar that you're paying for a second-hand car that's been imported from France or Belgium or somewhere. You can buy a bit of a older car for maybe $5,000. You can get a pickup truck for £5,000, $6,000, but you're looking at something more like a 2005, 2006 model with 250,000 on the clock, and even then the mileage might have been changed, because it's one of their favourite tricks in this country is imported cars is to wind the clocks back on them as soon as they arrive. So you never know what you're getting. If you buy something that's quite old, it might last you a few years, it might last you a few days, you just don't know. So I'm saving up, and that's what this money here that I've got here, I've been taking it out the bank, selling things, and in the last few days I've drew this out the bank. But obviously with an ATM machine you can only draw so many banknotes out, and each one's worth £4, so I can only draw out 3 million Ari a day. So there's 2 million, there's one more. You're looking about £600 a day I can draw out, because I've got 2 bank accounts, and one has a limit on it of £300 a day. The other one has a limit of about £500 a day. So I'm lucky if I can get £600 or £700 out in a day. And most of the machines, sometimes you go to the machines, the ATM machines, and they ain't got any 20,000s. All they've got is 10,000s, and you can only draw so many banknotes out. So if you got 10,000, you got half the amount, so you could end up withdrawing only £300 in a day. And when you need to try and save up £10,000 to buy a reasonable car, it's going to take me weeks to get the money out of the cash machines, and that's my problem at the moment. But at least I'm in paradise, and I can put up with that. So let's look into the cost of living. The house that I rent at the moment is a 4-bedroom house. It's one of the nicest houses that you can rent in Madagascar, and for that you have to pay a little premium to live in a place like Manga Bay in Nosy Be, where you've got a view like this from your terrace. You pay for the view, and I'm paying £180, about $210 or something for this every calendar month. So it's pretty cheap, very cheap in fact. About about £8 a day or something. It's cheap. So there's the house. But you can rent a house for £100 and get a nice house. You can get maybe even a hut similar to, let's have a look at this one here. Hopefully it's not too bright. That is too bright. Let's go on this one here. This hut here, like you can see, something like that, where it's half breeze block at the bottom, and then they use reed, and then it's got a metal roof, simple wooden plank windows and a door, something like that. You could rent that in Nosy Be, and look how close it is to the beach. The beach is literally just there. I don't know whether you can see it with the light, but the beach is literally 100 meters away from that, and it's on the actual beach side of the road. There's the road, and here's my apartment, my house here. So something like that you can rent extremely cheap. You know, maybe £20 a month, something like that. £30 a month. They're cheap, very cheap. You want these ones here. This one here, right in front of my house, is 3 apartments. There's one there, a 1-bedroom. There's another 1-bedroom there, and at the back there's another 1-bedroom on the other side. And he's asking €250 a month for them. So that's really, really expensive, and there's no set price. People pay what they want to pay here. They charge what they want to charge, and that's it. You know, and you have to pay it or leave it, one of the two. It's strange. There's no set prices. There's no, like, you know, a 2-bedroom house in England. I can tell you, it depending on the city and the location, how much it's going to be. In this location, you could have the one next door, could be half the price of this one here, and it could be very similar. But I mean, that one's to rent at the moment. There's 3 here to rent at the moment. There's hardly any tourists here, and that's what they're relying on, because Madagascar, they can't afford to pay €250 a month, because most Madagascar don't even earn in a month €250. So they're not going to spend the whole salary plus some of their wife's salary just to rent the house. They end up renting out a house similar to the hut there. Same system as in Europe. You don't spend all your money on a rental house. So there you go. My house, 4-bedroom, it's £180, $220, something like that a month. On top of that, I've got my electric and water, and for that I've set aside £30 a month, which covers that. Next up, is new clothes for the family. If we need any new clothes or something, we have a little budget. We've got as many clothes as you could need, to be honest with you, but we buy new clothes now and again, and school uniforms. And believe it or not, I've set aside £40 a month for clothing. It's probably not enough, but I haven't really. I should up it a little bit to include a little bit more, because it's a bit cheap and small, that really. But there you go. It's about £40, $50 a month for clothing. The Badgers, which is the little yellow three-wheeler vehicles that you see all over the island, they cost about 50 pence to use. So my kids go to school, and me and the missus, we need to use Badgers for her to go to work and for me to go on business or whatever, wherever I'm going. We use quite a few of these little Badgers to get around the town, and for that we spend around about £25, £30 a month, about £1 a day for that. Schooling, my kids at the moment, they go to the government school. The school's quite a good school. You get a reasonable education there, and for that it's you just pay a small nominal amount towards the schooling, which is around about $40 for 3 kids, so around about $13, £13, $13 around that sort of per child for schooling. We then got satellite television in the house, which is a pure luxury because most people don't have satellite television in Madagascar. But the satellite television costs me 55,000 ariary, which is around about £11, $13 US. And then on top of that, we've got a maid who works for us. I've just upped her salary because I thought my wife set a salary and I thought it's just too low. It was £20 a month, and I was like, you know, you need to pay her more than that, even if that's the actual salary of how much a maid gets in Nosy Be or in Madagascar. We need to pay her more, so I've doubled her salary to 200,000 Madagascar ariary a month, which is £40 a month for the maid. I've then set aside extras for basically if something costs a bit more, like we need a bit more fish for dinner, or if we need a bottle of Coke because a guest come around, or whatever else. 300,000 ariary, which is around about £60 a month for extras or surprises that crop up. Now, one of the biggest bills, well, the actual biggest bill is my food bill. You can live extremely cheap, but my being foreigner, I like little luxuries like tea bags, like chocolate, like chips, like beef burgers, things like that. So my food bill is pretty expensive. I spend £300 a month on food for the house. These are all my household costs. The total of it all comes to £700 per month. I think it's around about $850 US per month for all my living costs to live in paradise in Nosy Be. Now, obviously, being a foreigner, I do travel around a bit. I go to Mauritius sometimes I go back to England on business there. My flights per year cost around about £3,600, about $4,000 I set aside for aviation, for flying. So that's £300 per month. On top of that, I've got hotels between the airports and that, which cost £60 per month. Visas in and out of different countries cost around £30 a month. Dental and doctors for the family, I've set aside £11 a month. We don't really get ill, to be honest with you. And on top of that, the dentists are really, really cheap. So we go to dentists, but as far as doctors, it's just paracetamol now and again, or the odd antibiotic. You can buy them in the local shop. You don't need to go to a pharmacy. You can buy them for like 20 pence or something, 10 pence for a packet of 5 or something. so that's not too bad. So what else is there? The car, you should really set aside at least £200 a month for running the car. Maybe a little bit more, maybe £300 a month. So car's quite expensive. Car's as much as what you'd spend on food, really, if you want a car. But you can get around the island cheap. You can get around Madagascar cheap. But it's just a painful journey sometimes. In some of the vehicles are just you're just squeezed in like sardines in a tin. So sometimes it's nice to have a car of your own, like you can just jump in and go anywhere you want. So you're looking quite a bit for a car. On top of that, I put aside for personal spends, for if I want to go out for a beer, or being a foreigner, there's people always putting their hand out asking if you got some money, can I have some money, I'm hungry, giving money away like that. Phone credit for phoning England or phoning my friends in Madagascar, cigarettes or alcohol if I want a beer or something. That all comes out of that, my spends, my personal spends, which is around about £250, $300 a month. And then on top of that, I have a little section for trips out. So if I want to take the family out for a day, I've set aside £65 a month for going trips out, which is plenty, to be honest with you. Most trips out are to the beach or to a little local restaurant, where the restaurant costs you about £15 or something. So 65 a month is plenty for that. Total, you're looking for everything to live for myself, my wife, 3 children, my brother-in-law lives with us, and the maid lives with us. The total I'm spending is around about £1,500 per calendar month, about $2,000 maximum US. So there you go. That's the cost to live in Madagascar for me. For you, if you come over to Madagascar and you just want to live over here, you could easily live on your own for £1,000 a month. You could live a nice lifestyle. You can rent your house. You could go out and about. You can do what you want. You can feed yourself. You can go to restaurants or bars. You can use the public transport. £1,000 a month is plenty for that. And you can come and join us and live in Nosy Be, in paradise. That's about it for this video. Speak soon on the next one.